Hello all, this is my next video in the series of clinically oriented anatomy case-based questions and answers with explanations, which will help in integrating the knowledge of anatomy with clinical aspects. This video contains a clinical scenario-based case followed by structured essay questions related to head and neck as well as brain. This is the head and neck part 5. So the case is, during examination of the oral cavity of a 41-year-old patient, the doctor asks him to open the mouth wide and say "ah." On doing so, there is deviation of the uvula to left side and asymmetry in the elevation of the soft palate, with the right side of the palate drooping or sagging. The questions are: 1. Which nerve is tested in the given examination? Which side is most likely affected in this case? Second, explain the anatomical basis of the above condition. Third, enumerate the muscles of soft palate, and these muscles are derived from which branchial या pharyngeal arch or arches. 4. Describe all the functional components of various nuclei related to the affected nerve. So question number 1 is, which nerve is tested in the given examination and which side is most likely affected? So the nerve tested in the given examination is vagus, that is cranial nerve number 10, and right vagus nerve is most likely affected. Question number 2, explain the anatomical basis of the above condition. So for this, first of all, we will first understand what is gag reflex, also known as pharyngeal reflex. In this reflex, the physician touches the lateral wall of pharynx or soft palate with a spatula as an instrument, and in response to that, there is a contraction of the muscles of pharynx and soft palate. So there are two components. One is afferent, that is sensory, and other is efferent, that is motor. So when the soft palate or the pharyngeal wall is touched, so that is sensory component. So this is carried by glossopharyngeal nerve, which is the sensory or afferent limb, and in response to that, there is contraction of the muscles. So these muscles are mainly supplied by vagus nerve. So the efferent limb is the vagus, but the vagus nerve contains the fibers of cranial accessory, which will eventually supply these muscles. So normally when you ask the patient to say "ah," or when you touch on either side of the lateral pharyngeal wall or soft palate, the response is that the uvula will be elevated in the midline. It will be in the midline, and there is a contraction of both the sides of the palate. So that is the normal response. But if one side is touched, and if you observe on touching that the uvula is deviated to one side, as we can see here, the uvula is deviated to left, whereas on the right side the palate fails to rise, so there is drooping or sagging. So there might be either lesion of glossopharyngeal or vagus nerve. So we don't know, it might be either because of sensory or motor component. But if you want to test only vagus nerve, simply vagus nerve, so there is no need of touching, so there is no sensory component. So when you ask the patient to say "ah," and if you observe that uvula is deviated to left, so without touching also there might be deviation of uvula to one side, and on the other side there is a drooping or sagging of the palate, so that side nerve is affected. So in this case we say that vagus nerve is affected, not glossopharyngeal. Why? Because we are not testing the afferent limb, that is the sensory component, which is carried by glossopharyngeal nerve, we are just examining the motor, that is the efferent limb, and that is the vagus nerve. So when you ask the patient to say "ah," and you note that uvula is deviated to left side, it means the left half of the muscles are normal, and there is weakness or paralysis of the right half of the muscles of soft palate or pharynx. So in this case also the right vagus is affected, so right half of the muscles are affected. Enumerate the muscles of soft palate, and these muscles are derived from which branchial or pharyngeal arch or arches. So the various muscles of soft palate are tensor veli palatini, levator veli palatini, palatoglossus, palatopharyngeus, and musculus uvulae. All the muscles of soft palate except tensor veli palatini are derived from fourth branchial or pharyngeal arch, whereas tensor veli palatini is derived from first branchial arch. That's why tensor veli palatini is supplied by mandibular nerve, whereas all the other muscles are supplied by the vago-accessory complex, that is the pharyngeal plexus of nerves. Fourth, describe all the functional components of various nuclei related to the affected nerve. So in this case, the affected nerve is the vagus nerve. So first of all, let's see the various functional components of vagus nerve. So first is the branchial motor, that is the SVE, spatial visceral efferent. This component will supply the muscles derived from pharyngeal arches, namely the pharynx, larynx and soft palate. Second function is the visceral motor, GVE, that is general visceral efferent. This component is parasympathetic. Parasympathetic supply to the smooth cardiac muscles, and secretomotor to the glands of thoracic and abdominal viscera up to the left colic flexure. So this will include a parasympathetic ganglion, a preganglionic and postganglionic fibers. Third is the somatic sensory, general somatic afferent, GSA. So this component carries general sensation from part of the skin of external ear, tympanic membrane and the infratentorial part of dura mater. The fourth component is spatial sensory, SVA, spatial visceral afferent, which will carry taste sensation from epiglottis and the root of tongue, posterior most part of tongue. And the fifth component is visceral sensory, general visceral afferent, that is GVA, which will carry general sensation from the mucosa of the lower part of pharynx, larynx, esophagus, trachea and all thoracic and abdominal viscera up to left colic flexure. So we can see that the vagus now has 5 functional components: SVE, GVE, GSA, SVA and GVA. So the related nuclei of the cranial nerve. So cranial nerve number 10 nuclei are nucleus ambiguus, which is branchial motor nucleus, that is SVE. Then there is dorsal motor nucleus of vagus, which is a parasympathetic, visceral or secretomotor, that is GVE. Nucleus of solitary tract, it has 2 components: spatial sensory, that is SVA, carrying that is the taste, and the visceral sensory GVA, that is general visceral sensation. So these 2 sensation will be relaying in nucleus of solitary tract. And then there is somatic sensory, spinal trigeminal nucleus, which will receive general somatic fibers, GSA. So we can see there are 2 motor and there are 3 sensory components of these nuclei. So these are the nuclei which are related to cranial nerve, and all these nuclei are situated in the medulla oblongata. As we can see here, these are the sections of medulla. Nucleus ambiguus is a composite nucleus which will contribute fibers to 3 cranial nerves: glossopharyngeal, vagus and cranial accessory, eventually supplying the muscles of pharynx and soft palate. Here we can see the dorsal motor nucleus of vagus, the nucleus of solitary tract, the spinal trigeminal nucleus. So these are the different functional components of various nuclei. As we can see here, this is the dorsal motor nucleus of vagus. This is an elongated column present in medulla here, and the preganglionic fibers will arise from this nucleus and eventually supply the smooth muscle glands of thoracic and abdominal viscera. Then there is a branchial motor component. Here we can see this nucleus is nucleus ambiguus, as we just saw. So the fibers coming from nucleus ambiguus and then traveling the vagus nerve will eventually supply muscles of pharynx, larynx and soft palate. Then there are the nuclei. First is the nucleus of solitary tract. We can see here nucleus of solitary tract. So it receives first of all the spatial sensory, that is the taste sensation, taste from epiglottis and the root of tongue, and this will eventually relay in the upper part of solitary nucleus, which is known as gustatory nucleus. Whereas the main nucleus of solitary tract will receive this general visceral sensation from the various parts of pharynx, lower part of pharynx, larynx, thoracic and abdominal viscera. And lastly, this is the spinal trigeminal nucleus, which will receive the general somatic sensory sensation from the part of the skin of ear and the infratentorial part of the dura. So these are the various nuclei of cranial nerves and related functional components. So thank you, and keep sharing, like and subscribe my channel for more such case-based scenarios involving clinical anatomy of all the regions of the body. Thank you.